Hello, thank you so much. Thank you for having me today. My name is Jennifer White, as it probably has been already mentioned in the introduction. I've been living here in Anniston, Alabama for about over 15 years now. So I'm really excited to be your keynote speaker today for the Anniston Army Depot. I want to take this time to thank Colonel McCoy, the Anniston Army Depot Command Staff, and the Command Staff and EO Office. Thank you so much for having me today. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be here today. So I'm originally from the Dominican Republic, a big city called Santo Domingo. I'm not sure if anybody in this room has visited to the Dominican Republic. It's a tropical island that shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti and the Dominican Republic. On my side of the island, we speak Spanish. On the other side, they speak Haitian Creole. So I've grown up in a place where there's been a lot of tourism, a lot of attractions, the beaches. It's just beautiful. But the reality of my life is that I never got to really enjoy that part of the Dominican Republic. I got to see the sewage run through the streets and run down homes. And I was able to live in a place where the water came around 12 o'clock in the afternoon every day. And we had to rush to fill buckets with water so that we could take a bath later on. Also, our electricity will go off. We didn't really pay a light bill. So then the whole country would probably shut down its power every once in a while in different parts of the city, different parts of the country. I'm telling you all of that not for you to feel sorry for me or for you to say, oh, wow, where is this lady coming from? Mainly because today's message is about esperanza, which is hope. And I want to be able to encourage you today. Maybe somebody like me, person from a third world country who lives in Anniston, who has a profession here and lives here and has a family here. Maybe somebody like me can be a person that can encourage you today. So I want to talk a little bit about struggles. When it comes to hope, we need hope because we're probably going through something that is making us feel like, okay, there's probably light at the end of the tunnel. And as a native of the Dominican Republic, as a resident of Anniston, Alabama, I am just really excited to be able to say that I'm grateful to be here in this nation, grateful to be able to speak to you, be able to get an education, and so many others like me may feel the same way. Now, as I was telling you about living in a house where I had no running water, no electricity, I was also this person that spoke English. My parents would send me back to New York City and to Santo Domingo every summer. So I grew up in Washington Heights. I don't know if you heard of a musical called In the Heights, but that musical just really reflects my life in many, many ways. So I felt like traveling back and forth from New York to the Dominican Republic was a connection to a culture that would give me hope, a culture that would tell me, okay, here in the Dominican Republic, my family doesn't have much hope. They're probably waiting on somebody to pull them out of this mess. And I remember for many years when I was a little kid, as my grandma used to sit me on the table and make me eat because I just didn't like to eat. I just didn't have any appetite. She used to say, hey, mama, and we normally call, as a term of endearment, we called little girls mama because that's what they're going to be when they grow up. At least that's what we think they are. And she would say, hey, mama, one day you're going to get us out of here, okay? So you do the best you can. You be the best in everything. You represent us well, okay? And as I heard those words from my grandmother all the time, it's something that ingrained inside my heart. It's something that never left me, ever. I always thought, okay, I have to be the best I can in everything I do. I represent a culture. I represent a people. I represent a city. I represent a nation. All of these things are a lot of responsibilities, but it's also a way to tell you, hey, you are this person. You are a person that represents your family, represents your nation, represents your city. And how are you representing your city? When we're talking about esperanza, which is hope, I was hoping that one day I was going to be the superintendent of schools for Miami-Dade County Schools. You see, I migrated from New York City to Miami, Florida. Still did not speak any type of English at the time, but I started learning a little at a time. I still knew enough where I was like the smartest girl in the neighborhood. So I went and we migrated to Miami, Florida, which was much warmer, and I suffered a lot from being cold. I got pneumonia, bronchitis. So we moved to New York and Miami. And in Miami, I looked to the left and I saw a student that wanted to work for Disney. And I looked to the right and I saw a student that wanted to be the president of the United States. I was surrounded by students that didn't want to do anything. Don't get me wrong. It's not the perfect system of education in Florida, but I was surrounded by immigrants. Something that I never thought about until now. What is it about immigrants that makes them feel that they need to represent? They need to represent their country. They need to represent their nation. And then nowadays, I need to represent my color as well. When people look at me, they look at a certain thing. They look at a person and they put me in a category. How am I going to be judged with this category? Today, I want to encourage you, whatever category you're in, whatever skin color you are, whatever culture you represent, whatever city you belong to, I want to encourage you to be the best, to shine in that area you're in. Either is in a music, you're a musician, you're a teacher, you're a colonel, you're a manager, whatever it is that you do in life, be the best you can, because somebody out there is rooting for you. Somebody out there is looking at you and saying, if this person can do it, I can do it too. It's all about the younger generation. It's all about being an example to provide a good quality human, good quality American that can represent our country, our city, our families, so that other students can glean from. As a Dominican, I am not only a Dominican, I'm also an Anistonian. So when I represent Anniston in other cities, they're probably looking at me like, oh, she's from Anniston, she's from Alabama. She's an Afro-Latina from Alabama. And yes, Afro-Latina is a term that is used because Latin Americans are from all over the place and they're all different races. So they are Black Latinos, white Latinos, Indian, Asian. So I consider myself an Afro-Latina. Most of the people in my family are Black. Some of them are Indian, some of them are Asian, but me, myself, I consider myself an Afro-Latina. And when people see me, they're probably thinking, she's probably mixed with Black and white. Yeah, she's probably mixed with Black and white, so she's mixed. Doesn't matter what they think about me. I just want to be able to provide a good example. Me as a teacher, as an Anistonian, I want to be the best teacher. I want to be able to be in a classroom, rock it, just rock it, where students could come to my classroom and feel encouraged. They may feel like they can reach to a higher level than their parents did. Just like my parents. My parents didn't make it past an associate degree. My mom made it only to third grade. My dad, he was a baseball coach, so he was able to get his citizenship by winning the championship game for baseball. And that's how he became a citizen of the United States, by being able to travel. These are hope dreams. We hope. I hope. What do you hope today? What is your next goal in life? Is your next goal in life all about you, or is it about somebody else? Because sometimes when we just focus on ourselves, it gets a little boring and then you're done. And then what do you do from here? Once you reach a doctorate, how much further can you go? Once you reach a doctorate, how much more impact can you make in the world? Well, what if you're not trying to get a doctorate? What if you're just trying to be just the best thing at what you're at right now? And that's what I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you with this message of esperanza, of hope, that even though some of us have probably reached the peak that we've arrived, there's still a little struggle there. All of us seek struggle. Like I remember watching this TV show called 911. It's based out of LA, and my heart races when I watch this show. I mean, when I see those firefighters going up that ladder and rescuing people, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, why am I putting myself through this torture? Why do you put yourself through the torture of watching certain TV shows that's gonna give you stress and struggle? It's because we like struggle. We like watching struggle. We don't like it in our lives, that's for sure. But we like seeing it in others. Now, how has your struggle in your life given you hope? How has your struggle in your life gotten you to where you're at this point right now? I know that me, as a person who didn't have running water, you know, my husband is from Panama. He's an Afro-Latino. He had 2 siblings die of hunger. Anybody in this room know anybody that had 2 siblings die of hunger? That's not a popular thing to talk about. But I look at my husband and I said, he's working on his doctorate. And I'm like, wow, that's hope. That's esperanza. Coming from a place where it's 10 children in the family, 2 die of hunger, and you can still rise up above the mess, the dirt, the sewage, and say, I'm gonna make it in this country. I'm gonna represent my country. I'm gonna represent my city. I'm gonna represent my family, and I'm gonna help others along the way. Who are you the face for? Are you the poster child for a certain group of people that can look at you? I know that this month, as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month, which I am so excited that your organization is taking the time to highlight awesome Latin Americans that live in the United States. Just remember that sometimes we have a viewpoint of certain people. We say, oh, those people are always working, or they're always cleaning houses, or they're always this, and they're always talking fast, and they're always using their hands, and they're so animated and loud, and look at her lipstick, it's so red. You know, we tend to look at that and forget that these immigrants came from a struggle. They have hope, they have esperanza, that coming to this country, they could probably achieve maybe 10% of what their mom wanted them to. And they don't even know what their mom wanted them to because they have no clue. Whatever it is better. Getting an education, going to elementary school is a lot better than where we came from. Going to middle school, high school, making it into college, being able to pass advanced grammar, because boy, I tell you, advanced grammar to me is very hard. But I was able to pass it. I was able to learn English and make it. All of these things are things that sometimes we judge people and we think, well, you know, we're not sure about her. But then always think, but what struggle did she go through? What did she have to go through to get where she's at today? Because when I look at you, I would think the same thing. I would think, well, this person has been through a lot. For them to get this far, they had to go through something. So let's celebrate our struggles, because our struggles is what gets us to our hope, to our esperanza. Without that struggle, we forget who we are. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget your struggles. Don't put it in the back of your mind and never tell anybody. It's time that we rise up as a people, as American people, and share our struggles with others, because sometimes we forget what struggles we had, and then we have this chip on our shoulder. And it's like, where did that come from? You were the girl down the street with the sewage. You used to take a bath in the rain with no shirt on. Yeah, girl, that's you. Yep, that is me. I better be careful. My struggle bus is full of struggles. And I still struggle till today. I deal with all kinds of struggles. But you know what? Now I've grown to realize that the struggles that I go through now that have led me to have esperanza, to have hope, are struggles that I'm proud of. If it's not racism that I have to go through, I'm gonna go through something else. If you don't go through racism, you probably go through something else. You have a struggle in your life that you have to deal with. And I need you to embrace it. Even though sometimes we curse it, oh, why am I going through this? Why am I going through that? Like right now, I'm recovering from having COVID-19, and it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle to breathe. It's been a struggle to talk, to walk, to taste, to smell. It's been a struggle, but you know what? I always look at the brighter side and say, well, you know what? I'm alive. We are those that are alive. We're here today. What do you have to be grateful for today? This is not a Thanksgiving message. This is more like a hope message, esperanza message. What hope do you have for the future, for you and for others? Not just yourself, because if it's just for yourself, some of us just already arrived. And then sometimes that doesn't even make us happy. Go on a mission trip. Go ahead and travel. Find the struggle. Be a struggle seeker. That's what I love to do. I love going on mission trips because I love looking for struggles. I love going places and being not a savior to the people, but being like that glimpse of hope, the glimpse of esperanza that can say, oh, she came way over here to visit me. And mission trips don't have to be outside of this city. We can do it right here. You can be the hope of somebody right here in our area. And I just want to thank you all for listening to me today. I want to encourage you to go beyond your struggles. Embrace your struggles, appreciate them, celebrate them, because more struggles are coming. That's just the reality of life. More struggles will come. You need to be able to just finish those other little ones so that you can get bigger ones, and then you can help others go through their struggles. My name is Jennifer White. I am the Alabama Teacher of the Year for World Languages, and I'm also the Regional 2021 Teacher of the Year. For me to make it this far, I had to embrace my struggles. I am also the finalist for the National Teacher of the Year. I don't know if I'm going to win that one, but even if I do or I don't, I was able to make it. I can say to my mom and dad, hey, I made your name mean something. I made the city of Anniston mean something. Even though you may not have heard my name before, and you never probably will hear me again. But if anyone says Jennifer White and Anniston, hopefully it's something positive and it's not anything negative. And how about you? How far are you gonna go? Because you're never too old. You're never too old, you're never too young to reach as far as you want to. What's your next goal? What's your next struggle? Thank you so much for having me today. It's been a pleasure again, and I hope that today I was able to give you some insight and a little bit of motivation on what's your next step, on what you should do next. Thanks again for celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, which is a wonderful month to highlight the Latin Americans in our country. But we shouldn't stop there. We need to highlight all the citizens of our countries all the time. So thanks again, and I hope to see you around. Adios.